In a distant medieval land, there was a small village called Acorn Town. The seasons changed beautifully, and the scenery was always pleasant. Here lived an extraordinary orange tabby cat named Link. Link was not an ordinary cat. He was the most trusted delivery courier in the village. Although he was short and a bit chubby, and his face often looked serious, he was diligent and dependable.
Every morning, before dawn,
Link would sling his round, purple, bulging bag over his shoulder and set off on his delivery route. Today, he was heading out from Acorn Town to deliver a batch of parcels to the other side of the forest, to Willow Breeze Village. He had taken this path many times, but every journey was always a little different. Inside his bag were all sorts of small parcels. Some herbs for Granny Goat, dried fruit Mrs. Squirrel wanted to send to her niece, and an old clock Mr. Fox needed repaired. Link knew how important these little things were to each villager, so he never took his job lightly. Before the sun rose above the horizon, Link was already walking down the path. A gentle breeze swept across the meadow, dew dampened his boots. But he didn't complain. He simply adjusted his bag and continued forward. The first part of the journey was to cross Sunrise Hill. The terrain here was a bit higher, so he walked slower. But Link liked this part of the road. Every time he climbed the hill, the sun would be rising, and golden light would pour over him from afar, like a warm blessing. Today, Miss Hedgehog was standing atop the hill, holding a jar of honey and looking a bit anxious. "Link, are you going to Willow Breeze Village?" she asked softly. Link nodded. Miss Hedgehog handed him the jar. "This is purple flower honey made by my brother. I want to send it to my friend who runs a bakery there, but I don't dare go through the forest. Could you please deliver it for me?" Without hesitation, Link placed the honey into his bag and nodded again. Past the hill was the Jerboa Plain. Here, the land was flat, but the grass was home to many lively animals, so there were often sudden noises. Today, as soon as Link stepped onto the plain, he heard a series of plop, plop sounds. It was 3 little wild rabbits playing leapfrog on stones. "Link, Link." The little rabbits excitedly gathered around. "Do you want to play with us?" Link shook his head and pointed at his bag, meaning he was at work. The little rabbits sighed in disappointment, but quickly perked up and said, "Then, when you pass by on your way back, can you play with us?" Link thought for a moment and nodded slightly. At noon, Link arrived at Shadow Forest. Here, the light was dim and shadows of trees danced gently. It was the most tranquil part of the journey. Link walked softly, trying not to step on fallen leaves. Suddenly, a gentle song came from the trees. It was a little bluebird practicing her singing. "You walk so quietly. I didn't even notice you were here," the bluebird said in surprise. Link lowered his head, smiled slightly, and kept going. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered and rain poured down. Link hugged his bag close to his chest, crouched beneath a big tree to shelter from the rain. When the rain stopped, sunlight filtered through the leaves, and the air was filled with the scent of damp grass. The little bluebird began to sing again. Link stood up, dusted off his bag, and continued his journey. As the sun set, Link finally reached Willow Breeze Village. The rooftops here were pale green, with wind chimes hanging at the doors, making clear, crisp sounds when the wind blew. As soon as the bakery door opened, a white cat wearing an apron ran out. "Wow, Link, I've been waiting for you all day." He carefully handed her the jar of purple flower honey. The white cat happily exclaimed that she would make honey cranberry bread for him right away. Mr. Fox, the clockmaker, also came over to pick up his clock and patted Link on the shoulder. "You're always on time and always show up so quietly. Thanks a lot." Link didn't say a word, just nodded. He knew it was time to go home. The little rabbits were still waiting to play leapfrog with him. At night, Link started his journey home. Stars twinkled in the sky, and the chirping of insects accompanied his footsteps. The little rabbits on the plain were already asleep. So Link didn't wake them, he just quietly walked past their burrow. When he returned to Acorn Town, it was already late at night. He opened the door to his cottage, took off his bag, and carefully placed it by the wall. Inside the house, only the moonlight quietly streamed in. Link sat by the window, gazing at the full moon and stretching. This journey, though not earth-shattering, let him once again feel those gentle, subtle moments of kindness. And the next morning, he would set out once again, shouldering his cargo and walking the familiar path.